Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Oceania Sevens. This one an intriguing contest. Papua New Guinea taking on Tonga. Now the reason it's intriguing is both of these sides walking away from round one with one massive win. Whoever wins this keeps their Olympic qualification hopes alive. The loser, unfortunately, unless something drastic changes, may be a side that do miss out. Now this competition, I should say, I'm very excited about this game. Of course, it is split into two groups, Pool A and Pool B. Now, this is on Pool A. On the other side of the draw, you've got the likes of Samoa. You've also got the Solomon Islands. At the moment, those two sides do seem to be the leaders in that side of the pools, whereas Papua New Guinea and Tonga, I believe it will be the winner of this contest who goes on to the Olympic qualification final to take on one of those two sides that I mentioned. But Tonga, they had themselves a 59 points to 7 victory over Nauru in their first contest. We saw a couple Inisi brothers doing extremely well throughout that game. Of course, the experienced veteran John Ika doing pretty nicely as well. For Papua New Guinea, they got themselves a big win over Kiribati, 46 points to 0. So they haven't conceded a try as of yet, whereas Tonga with their 59 points, they did concede just the one. But either way, these two sides, I feel like they've got a lot of potential of scoring a lot of tries. Benjamin Boas, probably the man that I'm looking at for Papua New Guinea. The way he was running that ball hard made him look like a real threat to whatever side is in front of him. I should mention we have got another game just around the corner as well. That is Samoa taking on the Solomon Islands. We'll be covering that one. And then, of course, a big main event later on tonight, New Zealand versus Fiji. A rematch of so many massive games we have seen in the World Sevens circuit. Currently, the Tongans have made their way onto the field, same with Papua New Guinea, and we are just about to get underway for this contest. Ladies and gentlemen, now the scoreboard is here, but it won't show you the score. The actual scoreboard will be down here. We will be updating it as we go along. There are two games left for Papua New Guinea. They have got Vanuatu as well as Nauru as their two last contests. Looks like the rain might just about be falling. Looks like Jordan Way is going to be the referee in charge of this one. The only Sevens referee that I've seen go off for an HIA. Fun fact, he got hit in the head. Not so fun for him, though, as it would have probably hurt if he remembers it. Now, kicking off this one, it is going to be Ata Pakalani to get us underway. Nicely claimed by Papua New Guinea, just out from their own 40-metre line. Something that I noticed from the first game of Papua New Guinea up against Kiribati was the pace of the ball when they were getting a moving, and that is a brilliant run forward by that man that I mentioned earlier on, Boas. Moving up to the halfway line, might have been a knock on there. In fact, it's going to become a penalty for sealing off against Papua New Guinea. I believe it was Benjamin Kennedy, the player who has been penalised for that one. We have got there in the chat, who do you think will win? I'll be honest, I think this game's going to be a lot closer than some anticipated. I do still give Tonga the edge, but Papua New Guinea, I think, have showed up for this tournament maybe a lot stronger than some anticipated. Similar to what we see with their rugby league side, how not many people consider them as a real threat until you get to see them play and you're like, these guys are the real deal. Although, first of all, though, we are going to see a try possibly scored by Tonga, although knock on. Sione Tupo made the mistake. Counter-attack now for Papua New Guinea, looking to go the full length of the field. Kennedy finds his offload away. But Papua New Guinea, they will keep the pace flowing throughout this contest up against Tonga, perhaps try and wear them down by the time we get to the second half. I have to say, Tonga's shorts are an interesting choice for the Sevens competition. It does look like their shorts are halfway pulled down and they're all wearing their red Speedos, I guess is the best way of describing it. Although over the ball there will be Lotu Inisi. He did score about the third try of that first contest up against Nauru when they brought on more than 50 points. Now out wide. Chance here. And it looks good for Tonga. They will go straight through. And it is going to be none other than John Tapu Eluelu who has been able to score the first try of the match for the Tongans here. Now, I better update my scoreboard. That is something I'm not used to doing. Normally we use an automatic scoreboard, but with this Sevens comp, we've had to be doing it ourselves. There we go. Put the 5 points on the board for Tonga, but nice work from John Tapueloelo, who was able to go just straight through a gap in the Papua New Guinea defence. And I don't underestimate the fact that both of these sides can score tries. It's more of the case of who's going to score more or who can stop the opposition from scoring the most in this game, but it is going to be extremely tricky. That looks like a relatively serious injury for one of the Papua New Guinea players. Hopefully he will be all right to be able to continue. Looks like it might be a head knock. Trying to actually work out exactly what the injury is. I think it's Benjamin Boas, though. And if that is the case, he is not a player you want to lose. Like I mentioned, one of the keys, and it looks like he is going to be done for the day, unfortunately. Should mention it is the evening in Brisbane where this competition is taking place. Has had to go from the field now, so my Papua New Guinea key player is gone. Who was my key player for Tonga? I think I said about the Anisi brothers, so hopefully neither of them end up with an injury as well, or else that will be a perfect example of a commentator's curse. I think he just got trapped under the... I don't even know what happened to him, to be honest. I watched that. I think it was just a big initial contact. Looks like maybe something in the leg has gone. They had Henry Hutchison on the commentary not too long ago. He's actually recovering from a ACL tear, I believe it was. Been out for about 9 months. Hopefully something a lot less serious here for Benjamin Boas. But the game will continue 3 minutes into the contest at the moment, and it is 7-0 for the Tongans. The rain does continue to pour that little bit more. Pakalani to kick it off. It's about the 15 metres, well claimed by Papua New Guinea. Now on the back foot, having to retreat a little bit inside of their own 22, looking for a gap in the defence, although there aren't too many from Tonga so far throughout this competition. There is a knock on, though, from them in the breakdown. Cleaned up nicely by Papua New Guinea, but I think we had 2 knock-ons. So now it is going to be a scrum feed for PNG once more. I mean, Benjamin Kennedy, another Benjamin in the side that does look pretty decent. We saw Dixon Morrison actually make his way off the bench in the last game, and he seemed to have a real impact for them in the way that they played. But it's just about managing your fatigue. The good news is, compared to the Sevens circuit and compared to some of the other tournaments that we do have happening around the world for the Sevens, you only have 2 games per day now. Most of them are either 3 games, or sometimes you can even find yourself playing closer to those 4 matches. So it is nice that the 2 sides, they won't be too heavily fatigued going into their later games. That is a lot of pressure from the Tongan scrum. I think Sione Tupou tried to really shove in the middle of that one, but he's given away the penalty. And now PNG still inside of their own 22. They are going to take the tap and continue trying to attack from deep inside of their own half. Rather than going for the line out, maybe not quite backing in as much as they do with their general play. Papua New Guinea still in possession. Another advantage. I believe that time it was for a high tackle. Anything that hits the head is straight away a penalty. That is a brilliant run right up the middle here. I believe it's Benjamin Kennedy. He has got the man with him if he needs him, but he will not. In fact, it is not going to be Benjamin Kennedy. Instead, number 4, Latte, has been able to score the try for PNG. That was a very good try. I feel like this game is going to be extremely close. I think Tonga came in as $1.25 favourites compared to PNG, who found themselves as about that $3 underdog. But that sprinting run there, go like this, I think we're going to be sitting about 7-all at half-time in this matchup, which is ideal, really. We want to see close game, and we haven't really had one as of yet. Try is scored by Papua New Guinea. They've already conceded more tries than they did in their first contest. Now find themselves in the scenario, though, of matching the points that we saw from Nauru in the game up against the Tongans. We are 6 minutes into this contest. It's going to be kicked off long into the 22 now. A little bit of, I think there was lightning in the back. That is something that's a little bit concerning for the players. A bit of a stormy night in Brisbane and a storming run down the wing from Anisi. Gets the offload away, but just runs out of space. Was Tapu Eluelu. Means that it is an option for taking it quickly for Papua New Guinea, and the rain is starting to get just that little bit heavier. We've still got quite a few games to take place tonight, but beautiful wide pass. Now it's going to be the big man, Derek Morrison. Can he keep the flying pace going? He certainly can. In fact, it's Derek Voku rather than Morrison. And he'll score the try. PNG, 2 tries back to back. And they are in the lead. Like I mentioned, the winner of this game, they will more than likely be facing the winner of Samoa versus Solomon Islands. That game has taken place in only 2 matches' time. We are also covering that one on the channel, but a brilliant barnstorming run down the wing from none other than Derek Votu. Had the man with him just in case. I think it was Benjamin Kennedy saying, you know, if you want to give someone the try, I'm right here. But instead, Votu scores it himself, Voku, sorry. Now PNG to line up this kick, just gone away to the left-hand side, but they will still have the lead. I believe we've still got time for one more kickoff, or do we? You're taking some drinks anyway. Does this match continue? I assume we've still got time for one more kickoff, as it was scored before the 7 minutes ticked over. It's kicked off long and high from Papua New Guinea. Tonga, they'll be looking to score themselves a try, get the equaliser just before the end of this first half. Whereas for PNG, if they can win themselves a penalty or something along those lines, they would be absolutely massive for them. In fact, Tonga, they have now got themselves the penalty 35 metres out from their own try line. But a stepping, we haven't seen either Anisi really get themselves flying through a gap. This is a chance though. It's going to be play on once more. A little bit of stepping, bit of footwork there from Tonga. Here comes Sione. Tupou gets the offload. Finney Anisi. I just mentioned we had a lack of Anisis, and there's one of them right there. Or is it? What do we got there? We got a little bit of a stoppage. Finney Anisi confused. Oh, bit of something going on here. I think the players are starting to kick off a little bit. There was a player down. I believe it was Papua New Guinea who ended up with a player who got some sort of knock, maybe to his nose, to which Finney Anisi got angry that the man, I guess, felt a kick to his face and felt like he just, unfortunately for him, just got a bit of a knock on the head, I think. So then from there, Finney Anisi running back. I think he was complaining because he thought that the player being down meant that he wasn't going to get his try. And now they're going upstairs. This sounds like a confusing scenario at the moment. We have got there, the passion and the pronunciation is hands down amazing. Great job, says Simran. And also it is Simran. Hamish is the man, says Nazi Williams. I think they're going upstairs? No, it's all right. The try will stand. Papua New Guinea has ended up with a yellow card for a little bit of something. I don't even know what that was for. We didn't actually get to hear it from Jordan Way. Man's growing a massive mustache for Movember. I hope you are doing very well, Nazi. I'm sure you are looking forward to Fiji versus New Zealand later on tonight. About 10:30 New Zealand time. I concur, Nazi. Or Nazi, says Imran there. But the kick is good. So Tonga now have got themselves the lead 14 points to 12 going into the second half. And honestly, a game that could go either way. And that's exactly what we've been waiting for. We thought that we may have had to wait for those playoff games before we got the chance of seeing some close fixtures. I'll be honest, Samoa were considered the heavy favourites for this Oceania Sevens, but both of these sides are showing that if they play like this up against Samoa, who did struggle at times in their last game that they played up against Tuvalu, we could see maybe an upset in terms of who makes their way to the Olympics and how massive would it be for any of these other Pacific Island sides. It's still massive for Samoa, don't get me wrong, but one of these teams, Papua New Guinea, predominantly known for rugby league. And, you look at Tonga, who actually are also known for their rugby league. So if either of them were able to do well in sevens, it could be absolutely massive for them as a nation. And yeah, brother, thanks, man. Hope you're good too. Yeah, bro, good stuff for covering this, says Nazi Williams. I'll be honest, there are no bits of information whatsoever about lineups, about squads. I didn't know a single Tuvalu player, unfortunately, but we've been taking notes. We've been studying the recent games to try and learn as much about these players as we physically can. And luckily, there's a few familiar faces for these two sides that sneak in. Benjamin Boas was one for Papua New Guinea, but I jinxed him and he was injured pretty much straight away, which is a bit of a shame. I think I've been listening to Australian commentators for too long. I'm starting to get the Aussie twang every once in a while on these live streams. But we are going to be covering the evening games tomorrow, I should mention, which most of the games are because they only start at about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But we are going to be doing those games. We've got the Bulls versus Cardiff that is taking place tomorrow morning. That will be at 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Then we'll be playing in a game of cricket and then a little bit more of the URC the next morning after. And then the final day, of course, to find out who will be making their way to the Olympics. Either, I would say, one of these two sides or Solomon Islands or Samoa. Those are the four sides currently in the running. The rest of these sides really just playing for pride and to show off what they can do on the Seven Circuit. It's just a shame that they haven't had more I guess, attention put on to certain players, because here in New Zealand, they've been showing ads when they're showing the lineup. So we don't actually know who's out there on the field. But it would be nice if they would, I guess, just show a little bit more about the players. You know, we're hearing about the guys who are playing in New Zealand or the guys who played on gravel because they don't have a grass pitch. So to be able to play in Australia on grass is something that's like pretty massive for them and something we always kind of take for granted, you know. I don't think I want to be tackled, let alone on gravel. That would hurt quite a bit. And also, nice afternoon, Kiwi lads. Says Blues Nate, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Yeah, I hope you have been enjoying all of the action. I should mention Fiji, they must play Australia tomorrow, I believe. Blues Nate, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we'll be covering that one on the channel. Of course, Super Rugby teams announced. We did put out the Fijian draw lineup. Or the squad anyway. Now going off to the left-hand side, Tonga as the second half has got back underway. Chance down the wing to try and get themselves a few extra points on the board, which could be the difference with the score currently sitting 12 points to 14 in favour of Tonga. Nice run there from Sione Tupou. Gets it off to the left-hand side. Pakalani. They work extremely hard throughout these last two games for the Tongans to try and really find that momentum. Oh, Sione Tupou's just done a tumble like he's a baby giraffe on ice. And unfortunately for him, I think he stayed down. That is a great run, though, from Fini Anisi. Goes straight through and scores the try for the Tongans. That might just about give them enough of a lead. But yeah, Sione Tupou, it was a bit unfortunate for the man trying to tackle him because he went from having a guy standing up to having a guy pretty much on his knees in front of him. Now, that sounds like I'm commentating something completely different to what I am, which we haven't commentated that in the past. I don't think it's on many people's list of what they want to hear us commentate. I know beach volleyball has been thrown around as a topic a few times in the past. We have got the HS Hamish hot here in Melbourne. Looking forward to it in the rugby, says Blues Nate. So, in terms of weather, Blues Nate, you guys have got some pretty warm weather at the moment. Have you had any lightning or thunder? Because I know that in Brisbane they're starting to get a little bit of it by the looks of it in the background. Seeing a bit of a stormy background. Oh, that's a great take for Papua New Guinea. And that will be the try. Just like that. I think that's Derek Morrison. Yeah, it is. He's gone straight through, off kickoff. Tonga were in the position where they should have just been able to handle that, no worries at all, just take that catch, have a few phases, maybe get a try, but instead it's gone just the 10 metres. PNG have read it like it's a book. And now 21 points to 19, the score between these two sides. And what I consider still a knockout game. The winner of this game has a chance of qualifying for the Olympic Games. The loser of this contest, I just don't think we'll be able to get enough points overall unless there is a second upset in the group stages, although we have only got another 2 games left for both of these sides to determine who makes their way through. Super Rugby Team 2024, yes. Says Reed, yeah, all the teams have been announced. Some pretty decent players. I saw Julian Savia going to Moana Pacifica, probably one of the more eye-opening transfers that we've seen. Quite a few under-20s guys for the Fijians making their way in. Lee Halfpenny at the Crusaders, another striker lightning there at the Oceania Sevens. Now only 10 metres out from their own line here, Tonga. Nice stepping from Lotu Anisi. He's already scored himself a try throughout this competition. Now manages to find his offload away, but there is not a lot of space to work with for Hui Hui. Does manage to move his way up to the 22-metre line. Derek Morrison. Now that's a unique PNG name. Kia ora Blues. Hope all as well, says Nazi Williams. I'll be honest, there's a lot of guys called, Dixon Morrison, in fact. It's Derek Voku. They've got about 3 Benjamins and a couple Morrisons as well. So there's quite a few common names for this side. But then saying that, we've got a set of brothers for Tonga as well. So it's going to be interesting. Another player injured. That is, I believe, the 3rd player that has stayed down throughout this match. Now, I believe there's only been one who's gone off the field. That was Benjamin Bias. But hopefully nothing too serious here. Jordan Way going over to check on the man. Says, oi mate, you alright? I'm going to get up. It's raining and I want to go home. And it is raining quite heavily at the ground, unfortunately. A lot of wetness coming around, bit moist underfoot. Earlier on, it was actually so dry that it became slippery. Now, yeah, they're just showing the lightning strikes in the background, I should say. How many lightning strikes does it take before they call a game off? Oh, what's it? Yep. Okay, well, that just answered my question, ladies and gents. Apparently, the lightning is too strong and too scary for the referee, which means that we are now going off the field, even though they only have 1 minute 40 remaining in this extremely important fixture, and the players now have to leave the field because there is lightning in the area. Now, I get that it's a safety call, right? We don't want anyone getting zapped. But with 100 seconds left on the clock, can you not just delay it a little bit more and go, you know what, we'll be all right for a minute? Because, yeah, gameplay will resume shortly. This is going to be a weird scenario, ladies and gents. Lightning stops play. Now, I might have been slightly serious, but I was also joking when I said, where does the lightning have to be before they stop? So because the players are distracted by light, this is what the commentary are saying, because the players might see a flash of light and might get hit by a ball, that is why they are going off. Are you questioning the safety of people for sport? Yes, because in 100 seconds, the chance of someone getting a zap on the backside, probably relatively slim. And, 100 seconds, yes, delay the next game, I would say. But I think Jordan Way has just seen a little bit of lightning and realised that he's wearing a little bit of TMO gear that might have a few metal strands in it. And, yeah, they've decided to go off. The players were actually but we'll just play for a minute, then we can leave. Would be done, because that's the thing, that's the last thing they do for the day. They probably can go back to hotel after this game, relax, get some KFC, but no, they have to wait patiently now for that final minute and a half to be played, and both sides felt like they had the momentum. I think that's going to be the harder part for them. The outcome of this game now might not be what the outcome could have been if there wasn't lightning. Strange scenario, but it's sport. We adapt. I'm going to sneeze. Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we are now just waiting to find out how long the lightning is going to be around for. And then after that, we get to see the final 90 seconds of this contest. I'll be honest, momentum was with Papua New Guinea. They just scored that full field try that made them look like they were right on the cusp of being able to get themselves what would be an upset victory. But now all the players, what do you do if you're a player in this scenario? We haven't really had it before. Do you go onto one of those bikes in the changing sheds? Because you probably want to stay warm. You want to keep limber, do some yoga, Pilates, another one that's quite popular nowadays. Too many flash, and the Pacific caused lightning, says I was there from Blues Nate. Yeah, we're seeing plenty of flashy plays from these two sides throughout the first 12 and a half minutes. Yeah, I think both captains or both players in the scrum were like, can we just finish the game before we go off? But the thing is, though, I don't think that they had realised there was lightning, or to the extent that it was, until they showed the replay of it while we were waiting for the injured player. Because up until then, we'd seen lightning since that first half, but they hadn't really done anything about it because no one really cared. But now they care, so they better have a look. But we've got so many ads at the moment. With the delay, the crowd are still sitting in attendance. Oh, we got highlights from Tonga versus Nauru. I was thinking, geez, the sun's come out quick, but it is a highlight from earlier on in the contest. Batman, you're up, says Blues Nate. I guess this is kind of like a cricket, like weather delay, isn't it? In some regards. People will be confused at why we're still going after 25 minutes. Definitely because the game of sevens is normally only 14, but unique circumstances. I think we've had it once before. I think it was actually Cape Town. I could be wrong with that statement, but I don't think it was lightning. I think it was that the power was out at the ground because they actually played underwater for that final. And it was actually the Samoans who got themselves the victory in that contest. What we will have to do, though, is delay the next live stream because I think it's going to be starting a little bit later than we are currently sitting. So what we'll do is we'll go here. How long do you think we should delay it for? Like 5-10 minutes, maybe? We'll go 9:40. That's optimistic. We'll go 9:45. We're an optimistic type of fellow. So we'll see whether or not that will be the case, ladies and gents. But yeah, just waiting for the rain to clear up so that we are able to get that, or the lightning, sorry, to clear up so we do get the final few moments. Whose ball is it? At the moment, Si, you may not believe me if I told you, but they're off the field for lightning. So pretty much the weather, they've said that the flashes are too distracting for the players and also they don't want to get hit by any lightning. So they've gone off. It's currently 21 points to 19. There were only 90 seconds remaining in the game, but the players have been taken off the field for their safety. So we actually have to wait probably about 10 minutes or so to find out who gets those final few moments in their favour. Now, I don't know what happens if this game's completely abandoned. And I don't think that that will happen. But yeah, it would be very weird. Because then I guess those next games for these two sides will be actually that much more crucial. Of course, Papua New Guinea getting themselves a 46-0 win over Kiribati. And then on the other side of things, Tonga getting that 59 points to 7 win over Nauru. So what we will do here, I better add... People won't believe me, but I'm going to put the thing down the bottom. Weather delay is the best way of describing it. But it just sounds like I'm making it up. But no, there has been a stoppage due to the weather. But we move on. We sit here and we wait. I wish it looked like that, though. That would be a lot nicer if the weather was like that. We were actually playing cricket on Saturday and we got delayed. Well, we actually got stopped in the end. It got rained off because of the rain, the hail, and the lightning that we had. I don't think that's how you pronounce Kiribati. Or it's not how you pronounce Kiribati, but that is what their rugby team is called, I have been informed. So, yeah, that is why we've got it as Kiribati. But, yeah, the T to the S does not make sense. But, yeah, I've been listening to the commentators, and they were like, hey, it's C rather than T. I'm trying to think of another team that is like that in terms of their pronunciation of their lineup or their team rather than, but I can't. It's not really, because I was going to say Viti rather than Fiji, but it's not. It's still, yeah, but Kiribati, I believe, is the name of their team because the women's Kiribati team is there as well. They're just showing Nauru's try over Tonga, so that was actually off a line break as well. Fun fact. I'm looking forward to the Solomon Islands plan because their guy did a backflip when he scored a try, which was quite fun. I think that I could do a backflip. I just don't think I could land it. I think I'd land on my neck, but it kind of would still count as a backflip. And I Amish, are you happy? I'm back on the channel. Says Brandon, it is good to see you once again. And you were gifted that membership as well, so you have got a few emojis that you can use, as you just have with the George and there as well, and also the George faces for the weather delays. It is unfortunate, that is for sure. It's something that it's a weird scenario. We're not used to weather delays in rugby. Weather delays in cricket, yes, because the ball gets wet. But yeah, this case, I assume it is because they pretty much said it's because the flashes can be confusing or can be off-putting for the players. But I don't know what they do. What do they do with the people in the stands. Because if it was for something other than that, like safety and you don't want to get zapped and whatnot, there are people in the stands who are still waving their big metal flags. Like, surely that's dangerous, maybe? But currently close game. I'm going to check the odds for this matchup while we have got a bit of a break, see exactly who has got the momentum. Where are we at? Sport would be a good start. Rugby Union. At the moment, in this contest, they do not have the odds. But, whoa, Solomon Islands, fun fact, up against Samoa are now $21 underdogs. They were actually $8 underdogs not too long ago. So something's happened that's made them shoot right up. But Tuvalu, they are underdogs in their contest. We haven't really seen an underdog win a game yet. Papua New Guinea, at this point, have got the best chance, but they've got 90 seconds remaining in this game before we get to see the final moment. So this means all the next games will get delayed. That is true, yes. So as we keep on getting delays, we will keep on adjusting those next live streams so that we don't end up too far ahead. But yeah, should be good fun. Fiji are underdogs up against New Zealand. I can honestly see Fiji winning that game. So if Papua New Guinea aren't the underdogs that win, I would say that Fiji would be. So that game's supposed to be starting in an hour and a half. But I don't know if that will happen. We have got there, love you, Hamish, from Brandon in there as well with his, I believe that's your membership chat, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, thank you very much, Brandon. Hugely appreciate it. Yeah, we've currently got ads for New Zealand once again. We will put that face up in the corner because that is how we are all feeling. With 90 seconds remaining in this game, we just want to see some rugby. That's the main thing. Here we go. Who's got momentum when they make their way back out onto the field? I think that Tonga started the match better. So I think that for the last 90 seconds, how do they? I guess they have to go straight back to where they were on the field, which I think was a scrum to Tonga? It might have been a scrum to Papua... No, it was a scrum to Papua New Guinea, I think. In fact, they may have not even taken that kick. I think they were about to, but then the players had to go off. It's an unknown circumstance, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like we need a good filler for this gap while we wait to find out exactly who wins this game, because I don't want to leave you on a cliffhanger. I don't want you to not know who manages to get themselves the victory at the end of the day. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do this. Oh no, they're showing replay of Tonga versus Nauru once again. It looks like they are showing a full match replay in this case. They're liking the new stadium, they've said, for this Oceania Sevens. Henry Hutchinson, the man in charge of that. We're going to do countries of Oceania. We're going to do a quiz because we just like quizzes, I guess. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go like that. We're going to click that. We're going to click that. So ladies and gentlemen, without Googling, which is of course very hard to do, I know, because Google is such an easy thing to find, we're going to name all of, there we go, you can see my microphone off to the side, but we're going to share our next one. And also we have got there, I don't know why, but my fan jokes are Joe Minatoon and someone else loves you, Hamish, because it all ask why, when's the next interviews, says Brandon there. And when is New Zealand playing? They were supposed to be playing at around 10:30. I would believe that if it does take place, will be delayed to like maybe 10:50, maybe even a little bit later than that. So ladies and gents, we've got our bar here. These are the countries of Oceania. The reason we're doing this is because, ladies and gentlemen, there is a weather delay in this contest. Because of the lightning strikes, it is not safe to be out there on the field. So they do have to wait for that to clear up so that they can then get back out there, get going, and get ready for a good time. So we're going to start our quiz, ladies and gents. Do let us know Oceania countries without the use of Google. We'll start with New Zealand, and we'll start with where there are lightning strikes, which of course is Australia. Now, I'm going to make this interactive. So you guys, anyone who can name a country. Now, Papua New Guinea do not count as Oceania, which is actually weird when you think about it, because in that regard, they do. Sorry, my apologies. They do count as that. I was thinking of the other side, which is not Papua New Guinea. So, who else have we got in these games taking place? We've got quite a few other teams. Of course, the Fijians. Starting, there we go. We've got Fiji from Simran. Good stuff. Another team that are playing, Samoa. Nice. Samoa, Tonga as another team there. I'm trying to think of the teams who have missed out on being able to actually play in this competition. We haven't got a Marshall Islands team. There you go. How about that? Can I spell? The answer is no. But the Marshall Islands, Tuvalu, yes sir. Good stuff. Who else have we got? I feel like I'm a teacher at the moment. I might know all of the ones that are left, but we're going to work them out together. Who else have we got? Oceania countries, ladies and gentlemen. While we wait for the game to get back underway, currently they are still showing Tonga versus the Nauru side. Ooh, Nauru. Oops, there we go. Solomon Islands, good stuff. Of course, going to be playing Samoa later on. Vanuatu, yes sir. Well, ma'am. Niue, well, fun fact, Niue do not count because they are actually, I believe, part of New Zealand. If I'm correct in terms of what I saw, the population about 1,200, somewhere along those lines. But yeah, they don't actually count as their own country, but very good guess in that regard. So that means that we've just got the 3 remaining. So who have we got, ladies and gents? I mentioned them earlier on. They were the team that Papua New Guinea played in their opening game, where they were able to win 46 points to 0. They didn't get themselves any points throughout that game. Who do we thinking? Anyone who is just tuning in now, this isn't like a geography quiz, but yeah, pretty much the game is delayed due to lightning is the best way of describing it. Sadly, no action taking place just as of yet. Current score very close between these two sides and only 90 seconds remaining before we get to see the end of this game. There is more time left on this quiz up in that top corner than there was left. Yes, Niue is a free association to New Zealand, says Simran. Vanuatu is basically underwater. Does that count? Or how does that count? Says Chronic. Still a country. So, another one. Kiribati, of course, is the one that we were talking about, which just leaves us with 2, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Nauru is playing in this, a side that have looked pretty decent throughout their first couple games. There is another nation with the same amount of letters and also a relatively similar few letters that are involved in the spelling of its name. And it starts with P. Who can tell me what... I should be a teacher. Although I'll be a terrible teacher. I once had to coach cricket, an umpire cricket, and a kid threw a cricket bat at me. And that happened recently. And then he threw it away and said, go get it. So I said, I didn't. I should clarify, Stewart Islands, not quite, no. Not quite. But here we go. We got Palau, which just leaves 1. Now, the way to describe this one is it kind of describes what it is on this map, which is very small. So that should be a massive hint for what it is remaining. Some would even say that there's a way of describing a certain human appendage in this manner, if you're catching my drift. Is anyone catching my drift? There we go. Micronesia, the last place. 100% of Oceania, ladies and gents. So Micronesia not playing, Palau not playing, Marshall Islands do not have a team, but all of these other nations are all covered in this Oceania Sevens qualification. So that is pretty awesome that we've got so many sides. I'm a mind and plan after this, says Brandon. But yeah, game is still delayed, sadly, ladies and gents, and we have no update in terms of when the play will resume. I assume we'll get to a certain point where they actually say we can't play anymore because it's too dark. But I hope that that's not the case. That was a thanks for the geography lesson, Mr. Hamish. There's Simran, no worries at all. But yeah, fun fact, 14 Oceania countries. Or so they say. Plot twist. Now we'll do the flags. No, we won't. We will wait. And hopefully, by the time that Tonga versus Nauru finishes, they will give us some more information about when to expect the teams to be back out there. So what we will do is we will go like this. We'll go like that, and like that, and like that. There we go. One moment, ladies and gents. We are back. Mr. Hamish, can I have free time? Says Brandon. I feel like that's what I would end up doing as a teacher. I'd just give everyone free time all the time. Because, you know, free time, it is important. Probably not supposed to be having free time all the time, but worth a crack. Play a bit of Duck, Duck, Goose. That game used to be immense, you know. Now, just waiting for our weather update. Hopefully we get one soon. Although I have a feeling we won't. Because we've currently got ads for Burger King. We'll see what we can learn. How will they learn, says Simran? They won't. That's the best way of describing it. You know, eventually they might pick up a few things. But, you know, you got to give them free time too. Got to keep them engaged. Which the best way to do that is to not teach them. And that is why I can't be a teacher, ladies and gents. Also that, and if they looked up my YouTube channel, they would not hire me. Right, we've got to search. What am I searching? Oceania Rugby. Let's see what we got in terms of the update. Oceania Rugby Facebook. What we got now. They should have some sort of update. I hope. What do we got? Vanuatu grind out a tough victory. No, that's not what we want. They get their second victory. History makers, American Samoa, win their first Rugby Sevens game against the Cook Islands. So that would be the upset in terms of the women's game. And also we got our Hamish, the best who care about math, says Brandon. Well, maths is still kind of important. Like out of most of the subjects you do at school, maths will get you a long way. Because at the end of the day, if you know how to keep a budget, you should be slightly better off. You know? Right, they're still doing interviews at the moment. Still raining, but I don't see any lightning around. So I'd like to think that they will continue this match in the very near future. My bedtime depends on it. It's still raining extremely heavily though. That is oh no, there's a bit more lightning. There's still a bit around. I'm not sure whether or not we're going to get the end of this game in the near future, which would be a shame because at the end of the day, everyone wants to see that last little bit of oomph left when I was 18, says Brandon. Okay. I was going to ask you a maths question, but I'll decide not to in that regard. But we did all right with the geography, getting all the Oceania countries. I think they're talking to Tegan Levi's mum. Maybe. Tegan's the little bulldog. It's the description from her mother. Yeah, still a lot of rain falling. Ask me, Hamish, says Brandon. It's still 25. Brandon says Blues night. Fun fact, I am almost 24. That is a bit scary, isn't it? Less than a month's time, I will be a 24-year-old. That is really scary. I don't remember what I was doing when I was like 20. That I can think of anyway. But I still have a guitar, so that's one good thing, isn't it? It's see-through as well, which looks quite cool, to be fair. But whose birthday is it? Found it. Ugh, that's out of tune. They must be close to getting back out there. 100 seconds is all we need. Let's go music time, says Blues Nate. And so old, says Simran. There as well, but they are just showing the win for Australia over the New Zealanders. Not my birthday, says Brandon. That's all right. It's someone's birthday somewhere in the world, so we'll work on that theory. It's still raining pretty heavy, unfortunately. Doesn't look like it's hailing though, which is ideal. That was what it was doing on Saturday for our cricket. We had a lot of hail in the area, but weather delay at the moment. 19 points to 21. I don't know how long they wait until the game gets abandoned. That's a bit of a concern because I want to see the end of the game. We're really going through the subjects with Mr. Hamish right now. Says Simran. Trying to think what else we got. We could do PE, but we'd have to all get up and do some exercise and jumping jacks and whatnot. So no one will really want to do that, I don't think. They're so close to the end of this game. I'm just looking at the back and there's just so much rain falling. I feel like there is a chance that if we see the end of this game, I'm worried that's going to be the only game we see the end of, which makes it more of a worry that we haven't seen any more of this game. I had my channel's birthday today, so that message from earlier of the boom, 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 that was for your channel, Brandon. There you go. How many games they still got? I think they've still got so we've already lost the time of Kiribati playing. We will have to update our Samoa versus Solomon Islands live stream to probably about 10:15, I would say, is about when that game will now be taking place, just looking at the times and the delays. And I would say that New Zealand versus Fiji, if it does take place, is probably going to be pushed back to about 11 p.m. Somewhere around there, if not maybe even that little bit later. It looks like they are going to show the full match replay now, though, of Australia versus New Zealand in the women's games, which means that we still do not know the result of this matchup, which is a bit of a shame. I wonder if Stan Sport will have one. They're normally decent at stuff. Stan Sport, Oceania Sevens is live apparently. Lovely. Oceania Sevens is live. Yep, alright. Stan Sport, where we at? Stan Sport Rugby, there we go. They should be able to tell us. So please don't call off Fiji versus New Zealand. It would be a shame, but yeah, it seems like we are going to still hopefully see some game later on today. It looks like they've actually, they've delayed Samoa Solomon Islands, which we knew about. They've delayed Fiji versus New Zealand by the looks of it. And weather delay, what's this, cricket? Says Gareth, yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? We're not used to it in rugby, but yeah, there was lightning, and then the commentary said that the reason they went off could have been because it was distracting for the players. But yeah, we have to wait till the lightning stops so that they can finish the last 100 seconds of the game between Tonga and Papua New Guinea. And it's currently very close, so it would have been nice to see that last 90 seconds or so, and then from there have the delay set in. But I know player safety needs to come first, but it's also, it's so close to the end of the game, wasn't it? They were looking good too, both of these sides. I feel like it was honestly one that couldn't have been split. Who's playing in the cricket, actually, now that I think about it? We got a bit of free time. Who's playing in the Cricket World Cup? At the moment, Afghanistan versus South Africa. 12 for none after 1.5 overs. That is very early in the game, so we probably won't know too much. Distracting? No, I think because the post can attract the lightning. Says Gareth, yeah, I was confused at when they said that on the commentary because, yeah, you'd think that it was the fact that all the players have also got those trackers on them, so you'd end up in that scenario of if a guy gets zapped, you'd know about it. That is for sure. But we will have to wait a little bit longer. They played through about 9 minutes with lightning. No, in fact, sorry, they probably played through about 13 or so minutes with lightning and then decided to go off after that. But it's all right. South African, says Tiff in there, so you'll be very happy what South Africa have been able to do throughout the Cricket World Cup. They have actually had a very good tournament compared to what a lot of people backed them to be able to do. People felt like they would be where England was sitting in the Rugby World Cup, but they've gone above and beyond in terms of what they've been able to create. Just looking through that game with Pakistan and England, that is going to be the big determiner for whether or not New Zealand make their way through. I think that Coding was saying earlier on that Pakistan will have to win that game by 284 runs, which sounds like a massive margin. But if Pakistan bat first and get like 380 and bowl England out for about 110, then that would actually mean that they go through. So England need to do New Zealand a solid and do decently. I want to sneak in some cricket commentary, says Gareth. Well, we got that option, don't we? Because at the end of the day, there's no there's no rugby at the moment taking place. We're going to go on to the multi-view. Maybe this is the only way that we can do cricket commentary for the Rugby World Cup without getting a copyright strike, is to just not actually commentate it on the time that it is, or on a live stream that is titled cricket. And Pakistan got lucky. They're actually terrible. My opinion, says Chronic Underachiever. They're a weird side, aren't they, Pakistan? Because they also have the potential, though, of playing really well at times. And they've just had a little bit too much of a mixed bag of sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. And I think that's why they've actually struggled a bit in terms of that net run rate. The fact that they've got 4 wins and they're only just that little bit more. I'll go there, please don't get copyright, says Brandon. Well, I don't plan on it. Oh, lofted shot, dropped catch for Maharaj there. Anyone who's tuning in just now will be very confused about what I just said, but that could have almost been taken. Ibrahim, and a little bit of a lifeline off Rabada's bowling. I'm honestly going to drop 1 or 2 catches tomorrow. It's just a sad reality of us playing cricket on a Saturday. I just can't catch the ball to save myself. No matter how, well, to be fair, if it goes to me quick, I have more chance of catching it. But as soon as I have to think about it, the ball just goes out of the hands every time. Ryan has said hi, and there as well with the South African cricket flag in there as well. That is perfect time. We were just talking about their game up against Afghanistan, as is currently taking place. It's going to sound bad on my country, but I was hoping the AB's going to win the Rugby World Cup. There's Tiff. And there, I mean, it was one of those finals, though, that could have gone either way. And I think a lot of people know that it was probably a final to be expected with the weather conditions that they were going to have to play in. But yeah, South Africa, even though the stats were against them, they still managed to know how to dig deep. And that is what they've done their last 3 games, winning all 3 by the 1 point. Any cricket video coming out soon? Not that I know of. Hopefully next 2 or 3 weeks. Somewhere around there, I would like to have another video coming out of GoPro Cricket. There's one that's about 90% edited. It just needs a little bit of adjustment and a few subtitles and whatnot added on. Oh, that was almost lofty again to Maharaj. Hopefully we win the Cricket World Cup. I mean, I'm happy and stuff, but I really want you guys to win, says Tiff. And there as well. So currently weather delay is still in play for this matchup, ladies and gents. You really think it matters if they make another semi-final for what? To get destroyed by India? Seen this since 92. Stop it, says High Life. Although I think it would be New Zealand versus India, if I'm not wrong, isn't it? If I'm not wrong? I could be wrong. But yeah, I think New Zealand will play India in the semis. And then it would be Australia versus South Africa. And we're going to play Australia in the semis regardless. If I read it right, says Gareth, yeah, no matter what happens in this contest, like it could be India versus Pakistan or it could be India versus New Zealand, seem like the 2 likely options. But yeah, India trying to break their streak of losing before winning a final. Unfortunately, it has happened to them many times. Same with New Zealand. They're another side that have struggled. The Cook Islands there, says Andy Surfer. Sadly not in this competition, or are they? They might be. I'm just trying to think. I know that American Samoa are there. who don't actually count towards the Olympic qualification that I can think of. I'll have another quick look. Oceania Sevens. They might be on the women's side of things. They might actually have the Cook Islands. Here we go. Oceania Rugby. Any updates? Nothing as of yet that we have heard. They are still showing the highlights of the last contest between Australia and New Zealand's women's sides. Here we go. On day 1. Well, that's day 3, actually. Moment, we'll go here, we'll go here. Oh, no, the Cook Islands, it's there for the women's side of things in the Olympic qualification, but we haven't got a Cook Islands side on the men's side of the draw. When we see in the Biltong, Hamish says, Gareth, it is a work in progress. We have filmed it, but it needs a lot of censoring throughout the video. So it's getting closer, but it's on George's upload list. He's got about 4 or so that are almost ready to go. I think India will beat New Zealand. Says Tiff. I think that they should. I don't think India can lose this World Cup, even if they play badly. Andy Surf has given us a $5 super sticker as well. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. Not if New Zealand bat first. Says Chronic Underachiever. Yeah, I think any side who's playing South Africa, if they don't bat first, like if they win the toss, that is, the team facing South Africa, then they've done something very wrong. Because, you know, the stats speak for themselves. South Africa, when they bat first, they go very well. When they don't bat first, yeah. It'll actually be real interesting to see how they go up against Afghanistan here. Because this will be a perfect game where they aren't batting first, but they should still be able to win it with their second innings. But who knows? Currently 13 for none off 3 overs for Afghanistan with Ibrahim and Gurbaz still opening the batting. Are we over there? That's true, says Tiff. Also the thumbs up there from Ryan. But yeah, still a weather delay. I'm not sure how late they can actually play in the evening without it becoming too late. I know that the game between New Zealand and Australia was actually supposed to take place at about 7:30. I don't know whether they can play later than maybe about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night with the lighting that they've got at this ground. Although sometimes they play evening games with the Dragons here, so they should be able to play a bit later. It was batting now in Afghanistan versus South Africa. Currently, Afghanistan are batting. So I assume they won the toss. Because unless something drastic happens with South Africa, I doubt... Yeah, Afghanistan won the toss and elected to bat. You wouldn't let South Africa bat first, and I don't think South Africa would back themselves not to bat first. And de Kock is very deadly. Once he gets over 25 runs, he's going for a century, says Chronic. Yeah, hard man to get out. Once he gets half by set, and when he starts getting it out of the middle of the bat, you just know you're going for a lot of runs in a hurry. New Zealand found that out. In fact, New Zealand found that out about a lot of South Africa's batsmen. There's been some questionable decisions going to India this World Cup. Says Gareth, although you're always going to have a little bit of home field advantage, aren't you? No matter where you are in the world, no matter what sport it is, like there's still going to be some times that it seems like, oh, that seems a bit dodgy, but yeah, it does look like, you know, India are going to go far in this comp. And it's a question of whether or not someone can pull off an upset in the the semi-finals, or whether it will still be the Indians there for the final. I don't think South Africa will lose, but anything is possible, says Tiff, and all the people who subscribe to Rugby World Cup will not come to any other live stream. Now, that is very true. The Rugby World Cup was probably the pinnacle of the channel, but it also probably, in a way, killed the channel as well, because that is a lot of people who are now probably getting notifications for other live streams and other videos that we're doing, not looking at them, so YouTube are going, we're not pushing that out. But like at the end of the day, we accept that, because to be able to do the World Cup, there was always going to be the consequence of a lot of people not watching what we did afterwards, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was fun while it lasted. We're not going anywhere though. We are still sticking around on the channel. So all you regulars who are still here, it is greatly appreciated, because yeah, there seems to be a small group at the moment who are sticking around, whether that's for URC or the Sevens or Super Rugby when it comes around, the Six Nations. Maybe the Six Nations picks back up a little bit as well, but we're still gonna keep on going. Rugby channels popped up like Pokemon on YouTube. during the Rugby World Cup, says Gareth, and also Tonga Sevens versus Papua New Guinea Sevens, Oceania Sevens 2023 live commentary. Very true. But at the moment, we have got a weather delay. So sadly, we aren't able to commentate the game up until the game comes back on. So it's currently 21 points to 19. There's about 90 seconds to go on the match, but until the lightning stops, we don't actually get to see it. And when is the next Lions or Bulls match? The Bulls are going to be playing in about 10 hours' time, or in fact, maybe closer to 11 hours' time, somewhere around there. And we are actually going to be covering it on the channel. It is going to be the Cardiff Blues versus Bulls. Another new season just around the corner. Says Nazia should also do the commentary for the rest of the Cricket World Cup. Says Tiff, if New Zealand make it to the semis, I am hoping to do the commentary for those games. The only problem is, last time we did the Cricket World Cup, we ended up with a copyright strike. The time before that we did the Cricket World Cup, we ended up with a copyright strike. So it's a tricky one. And I'm grateful for the service you provide with Radio Sport pretty much gone burger, and ZB Sports not broadcasting much these days. This is gold. Says Andy Surfer. I mean, that is the goal for us at the end of the day. Throughout the Rugby World Cup, it was just to be able to provide commentary so that you guys had something to listen to during the games, even if you were watching but you just wanted someone to talk to about the World Cup. We were still here for all 48 matches. When are the Bulls, or where are the Bulls playing? They are going to be playing in Cardiff for their matchup, so no South African sides really getting those home games yet, other than when they're in a derby up against another side. I don't believe get back, says a Brandon. And there as well, yeah. Unless they get maybe back out onto the field within the next, I would say 30 minutes latest. Any later, I think that they're really going to struggle to get any more gameplay today. And that would be a massive shame, because at the end of the day, if they start early tomorrow and have Fiji versus New Zealand at an earlier time, we actually won't be able to cover that game on the channel due to having cricket. So it would be a shame. I feel like that was the game that everyone was looking forward to the most. And because of the lightning, we may not quite get to do that one. And great when you're doing the painting, says Andy Surfer. And the Sharks and Zebra are playing today, says Tiff. They certainly are. So they have got the earlier game, although with the time that we have to be up alongside what time we'll be able to sleep afterwards, we aren't going to be doing that game on the channel. We are just doing Cardiff and the Bulls. Oh, okay. We've got the rain still falling. Thunderstorms. Okay. I'm just listening for whether or not we get to hear if they're playing the last of this game. I hope so, though, because both of these sides have had moments where they deserve to win Bulls all the way. Says Ryan there. And also still day 2 and 3. Says Brandon, my poor Shark, says Gareth and any unbeaten sides in the URC. I believe at the moment, so the Stormers, I think, are the only side. No, the Stormers lost, to Glasgow. So I think it's just, I think there's 2 or 3 sides that are still undefeated in the URC. So currently, Connacht is actually the only team who's undefeated. And then there was Munster, who theoretically you could say are undefeated because they've had 2 wins and a draw. So that kind of could count as undefeated as well. Same with Benetton. They have actually not lost a game throughout this year as of yet. And 5 plays for the Lions. And also, what country is this being played? So this is actually an Australian Nazi. So Brisbane is getting pelted by rain, pelted by lightning, thunder. Oh, that makes sense, says Tiff. And also, doesn't Fluff play for the Sharks? Says Tiff there. And the chat as well. But currently in the cricket, 24 for none for South Africa and Afghanistan's game. Afghanistan batting. The 4.4 overs, run rate of 5.14. But anyone tuning in now, this is the longest 7 live stream I think we have done on the channel, and it wasn't anticipated. We didn't think that it was going to be the case, but the delayed parts of this has meant that we didn't really get to see the end of the game as of yet. I'm ashamed of myself as part Pacifica. Didn't even know this was on. I wouldn't blame you, Nazi, because they've done really badly in terms of advertising it. I wouldn't have known it was on other than the fact that I'm literally always like looking, and I knew that it happened last year, early November, so I knew to look for it. But like, yeah, there's been nothing that I've seen. Sky Sports, the fact that anytime they show the lineups of these two sides, they go to an ad break, so you don't even get to see who the players are that are on the field, so that's going to do nothing for the progression of Tuvalu, for Nauru, the young players who might get that opportunity in the future to play for a bigger side, but because they aren't getting to have their names put out there. And also, alongside that, when they do show the lineups, they don't have the player numbers on the lineup sheet. So it pretty much means that you have no idea who any of the players are when they're out there on the field. What time is it by you? Currently, we are sitting 9:55 p.m. New Zealand time. So I assume that this is going to be a relatively late night for myself. Definitely if the game and all of the other matches tonight are going to be delayed, because, of course, we want to cover New Zealand when they do go head-to-head with the Fijians. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit later than we first initially wanted. And Hamish, do you ever get load shedding, or is it only a South Africa thing? So we haven't had load shedding. We have had a live stream where we lost power. So I ended up buying data on my phone, getting a flashlight, and then continuing doing the stream while using data to be able to keep it alive. We've also had times where the Wi-Fi has completely gone out, which is almost, in some regards, as bad as if the power went out, mainly because we weren't able to do too much on it. So in that case, I also bought data so that we were able to keep the live stream running. It actually happened for a Rugby World Cup game, I think the semi-finals. We had to do through data as well. It's 10:55 a.m. in South Africa, says Tiff. Yeah, currently for the Rugby Sevens in Australia, it is sitting 7 p.m. local time, but it does look very dark. Oh, here we go. Play will resume at 7:02. That is 5 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. So that is some great news. We will get to see the end of this contest, but that leaves a lot of questions. Who is going to look like the better side going into the final moments of a game that they have now had to sit for an hour waiting to finish? Is it going to be a side that feel like they've got a whole heap of momentum? Tonga started the match a lot better. Power going out during bushfires is the worst, says Chronic. And I was like, cool, says Nazi Williams. So yeah, in 5 minutes' time, we will get to see exactly what is going to happen for the end of this contest. We are about to find out, and that makes me very excited, ladies and gents, because I think that both of these sides have a chance of winning it. I haven't had load shedding in months, says Gareth. Me neither, Gareth. But, of course, yeah, different locations. Have you had biltong lately, Gareth, though? Out of curiosity. Do let me know. Well, we will go like this. And we will go like this. There we go. Right. The odds. At the moment, I can't see them, but I would assume that Papua New Guinea are underdogs in this scenario, but probably not by a huge amount. I think I've forgotten how to talk now, but I think that they'll still be right in the hunt for those final few moments, Gareth. That is so lucky and saying, but I have it today. Says Tiff there. The second part of this game about to take place. How do I get back into the tab that I want? Oh, we have got there. We also have today, says Orion, and also yesterday, says Gareth, for the biltong scenario. That is quite recent. You're a committed man. Do you get plain biltong, Gareth, or do you get like some special stuff? Like some stuff that's a bit more flavoursome, I guess you could say. But currently, they are just showing the highlights, or at least some of Samoa versus Nauru before the game gets back underway. Only a couple minutes remaining in this contest. Papua New Guinea 19, Tonga, they've got themselves 21, so they've still got that little bit of momentum. We saw a bit more of Fini and Nisi. Lotu Nisi was doing decently. And then also John Tapu Eluelu was able to score the other try for the Tongans. Then for Papua New Guinea, they've had some decent moments. Derek Voku being able to score himself the one. Benjamin Boas going off early with an injury. Dixon Morrison scoring as well. And wet and fatty, no flavouring. Sometimes chili sticks. Says Gareth, and I like chili bites. Says Orion in there as well. And what's your favourite cake flavour? For me, I'm a Ooh. I mean, I know that this is basic, but I don't mind like a nice vanilla one, you know, or strawberry. Like chocolate cake's great. Like George loves himself some chocolate cake. But I would argue that sometimes like a good buttercream frosting or something like that is just as satisfying. Red velvet's weird. I try and like it, but my brain still tells me this is cheese. Yeah, game about to get back underway, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, this will be good. Good fun. I think I've almost lost my mind from waiting for this game to get back underway. What about carrot cake? I've actually never had carrot cake. But I guess in my brain for cream cheese in a red velvet cupcake or red velvet cake thinks this is cheese, then I'll probably be eating a carrot cake and be like, this is just vegetables. But it's not. Of course, there's a lot more in a carrot cake than carrot. But yeah, good fun. Indeed, they are still showing the women's game at the moment, but it's just about to get back underway. They are just showing the highlights of the game when it was initially taking place. They're 7 minutes in at the moment. So we're getting close. Carrot cake is my favourite. Does it taste like carrot? That is a question for you. It probably doesn't. But yeah, never had carrot cake, which probably isn't a surprise for some people because I've never had a lot of things. Tonga still look like their pants have been pulled down with their kit. I don't know who designed the shorts, but it does look like someone stole half of them. I know it doesn't say stiff in there as well, but they are now showing the rain that is still pouring, but they will be allowed. Wait, why have they got fireworks? Who's letting off the fireworks? That's going to distract the players. Who's better, Lebok or Pollard? Pollard when it comes to the kicking, but in terms of who is better attacking-wise, you'd go Marnie Libok every day of the week. Don't forget your biltong name from Auckland. Says Gareth in there as well. And also we have got there, no, it doesn't say stiff, but now we are about to have a scrum. 1 minute 40 remaining, ladies and gents, and this game about to get underway. I am excited, and I just can't hide it, as the song says. It doesn't even rhyme, does it? But it's in a song, so it must be true. The ball's fed in. Here come Papua New Guinea with the chance. They've gone through. They've waited 1 hour or so to score within the first 7 seconds. No wonder they wanted to take that scrum, but they will now take the lead. Papua New Guinea with a man advantage in favour of Tonga, but Papua New Guinea breaking through. That'll make the score now 24 points to 21. The Tongans were still asleep, and it's cost them here. Now, can Papua New Guinea capitalise and close out this game with a victory? Here we go. Oh, it's missed for that kick. So only 3 points difference between these two sides. Woohoo, PNG. Says Simran there, and Carrot Cupcakes says Blues Nate. I hope Pollard is in the 2027 Rugby World Cup. Well, he's still young enough. That's the thing. People think Pollard's relatively up there in age, but he'd still be only about a 33 or 34-year-old fly half at that point. It's going to be kicked off long by Papua New Guinea. 30 seconds remaining. This will be the first upset that we have seen in the men's side of the draw. The big driving run there from Samson Fualalo. Now, nice step from Fines. Or, in fact, that was Lotu Anisi. And the ball has been dropped by Tonga. This is going to be possibly the biggest upset of the day, ladies and gents. Although saying that, we did see an upset on the women's side of things. So definitely the men's side, this could be the biggest upset that we have seen. A lot of pressure on for the scrum. People are letting off fireworks in the background, not realising that there was lightning strikes like 2 seconds ago. Now putting the ball in here for PNG to what could possibly book them a spot up against. Oh, is it going to be lost? They look like they're going to continue attacking. This is not smart from PNG. The siren should have sounded. They should be putting this ball into touch. I don't know what's going on here. They've got a lead. Do they don't know the time, I don't think. That ball's loose. picked up by PNG. They want one more try, but I don't think they realise how important it is that they get this ball out and accept the victory. Tonga give away the penalty though. Now PNG take the quick tap. They won't kick the ball out. They want to keep attacking. This could cost them drastically. I get that they're trying to win this game by a bit of a bigger margin, but the time is up. They don't need to be superheroes here. They can just, if they put the ball into touch, the coach, I'm sure, will have a heart attack if they don't win this game. Okay, there's the siren. And now they fire it out wide. They kick it out now. Okay, the siren was about 2 minutes late, so that is why they waited. But Papua New Guinea have just got themselves a massive victory over Tonga. That is massive and that is huge for Papua New Guinea's Rugby Sevens, that is for sure. We saw them on the circuit very briefly not too long ago. Maybe we could see them full time if they keep on doing well and they get themselves that Olympic qualification. Sam Whitelock will make a try, save and tackle to progress ABs to the quarterfinal in 2027. Yeah, for the chat says, Ryan, that's crazy. Says Stiff there, a nice PNG. Says a Blues Nate. And there as well. And Dan says, Ryan, so yeah, big upset. Papua New Guinea get themselves the victory, ladies and gents, in what has been the longest game of Rugby Sevens I can remember. But that is mainly because of the delays. So I should mention, Papua New Guinea now have a very high chance of facing the winner of Samoa versus Solomon Islands. That game is in 2 matches' time. We have got the game first of all, I believe, where is it? Day 1. We've first got the match between, we have got Vanuatu versus Nauru first. That's a lie, it's actually Cook Islands versus Tuvalu. Hang on, the men's side have got a Cook Islands team. They must have had a bye in the first round. Okay, that makes more sense. And then, yeah, Samoa versus Solomon Islands. That will be the game after that, which hopefully will be starting at about the same time as we have got it scheduled for on the channel. But 24 points to 21, the win for Papua New Guinea. What the lineup for New Zealand? I know their squad. I don't know their lineup, though. Unfortunately, it's been very hard to find lineups throughout this competition of the Oceania Sevens. Even finding squads has been a challenge. I think we've only found about 4 or 5 throughout the time. But New Zealand will be playing Fiji. That is the last game that has taken place for today. And we will get a little bit of a better idea about when that game will be starting once we have 1 or 2 more matches that do end up taking place. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Papua New Guinea getting themselves a historic win over the Tongans. The lightning couldn't stop them, and there were lightning in the boots of that man who ran around the side of the breakdown to get that final try, which then gave them the big victory there. But thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed that 50 or so minute break in the middle where we were talking about rain. We were learning a bit of geography, doing a bit of maths, and having a bit of fun along the way. But thank you all very much for tuning in. And we'll see you all for the next one, which is in about 30 minutes time. Somewhere around there, we will be live on the channel, so be sure to check that out as well. But we'll see you all for the next one.